What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you today on a very early Monday morning. Had a pretty crazy weekend, a lot of Girl Scout stuff going on. My wife's birthday was on Thursday, so we celebrated this weekend. So back at it on this Monday morning to bring you FAO for Noobs. But before we get into FAO for Noobs, we are almost at 550 subscribers. So remember the giveaway where you get a $20 gift card of your choice for iOS or Android, and you become the first count review for the XMG. When we hit the 650 subscribers, just make sure that you are a subscriber and you leave a comment on any video starting with the giveaway. You can enter multiple times, once per video. So let's get into FAO for Noobs. So FAO is a Order Panda Fighter, Ranger, and a Traveler. So let's take a look at her stats and see what we're kind of getting into with FAO. FAO does physical damage. She comes in at 2887, which isn't too bad. Pretty good. Critical chance at 30.85%, so that is nice. Already starting over that 30% threshold. Health is at 15,814, which is just frankly terrible. And her shield is at 18,741. Again, pretty terrible. So we are like 32,000 health and shield combined, so pretty bad there. Physical armor at 25%, magic armor at 23%. Speed is at 137, potency is at 31%, tenacity is at 24%. So what did we learn from FAO's stats here? We learned her health and shield combination is atrocious. Her physical damage isn't too bad, critical chance is pretty good, and speed is kind of middle of the road. So let's see if any of that has to do with her move kit. First ability is Sure Shot. Deals 250% of physical damage to an enemy. If this ability deals damage, FAO gains 20% turn meter. If this ability lands a critical hit, FAO gains an additional 20% turn meter. So we're looking at this ability. We are looking at physical damage, obviously. It's going to be what it feeds off of. And then if it lands and they don't dodge it, you get 20% turn meter. And then if you get a critical hit, you get an additional 20% turn meter. So we're looking at a potential of 40% turn meter gain. So we learned physical damage, and then critical chance is important to FAO. Second ability is Salvo. Deals 280% of physical damage to the target and 2 random enemies. A critical hit with this ability decreases the enemy's turn meter by 20%. So physical damage we see again. We see the common theme of critical chance again. And then decreases the enemy's turn meter by 20%. So having some potency might not be a bad idea. Third ability is Grace. And this is the move that FAO is infamous for. You gain dodge increase and apply it to all allies for 2 turns. So again, this is kind of her like bread and butter move. It has nothing to do with potency. It's just if you get it to level 6, she applies dodge increase to all allies for 2 turns. And her passive ability, Ranger Brotherhood. FAO gains 30% physical damage increase and an additional 5% for each living panda in the party. So she's increasing her physical damage based off her passive, so that is pretty sweet. So what did we learn from FAO here? We learned she needs physical damage, critical chance. She is giving the dodge that isn't based off potency, and she gives herself physical damage. So when we take that into account to look at possibly what kind of runes we could go with, she does nothing to increase her survivability. So we definitely want survivability in the second stats. But overall, what we are looking at is you got some options here. You could go damage with a critical chance secondary, but she's giving herself a lot of critical damage. You could go all critical chance and just beef up her critical chance through the roof. Definitely an option. You could go a couple critical chance with a health sprinkled in, some armor, sorry. Anything really survivability. Or you could go speed with her and put a health. You could put critical chance. And the reason I say speed is because we want her to get up that Grace ability as fast as we possibly can. So the more she goes, the more that Grace is going to stay up, increasing the survivability of the whole team. And with her low health and shield combination, having an increased dodge on her is definitely better. I think I'm going to put on a speed set with a critical chance, so I'm going to rune her, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back with a full rune amulet, and we went with the speed and the critical chance. Now, what I'm looking for in the secondary stats is damage, anything survivability, critical chance, more speed, and if potency is there, it's a plus. So looking over the runes, starting with the northern rune, obviously we have damage in the primary, shield, potency, health, and some speed. I went with the speed primary in the northeastern rune with some critical chance, health, damage, and armor. In the southeastern rune, we have the armor primary, of course. Speed hit twice. We have some health, some damage, and some shield. Then I went with the critical chance primary in the southern rune with damage, health, and tenacity. Didn't really want the tenacity on there, but I'll take it because the 2 health is nice with some damage. It's alright. Then I went with the shield primary in the southwestern rune, and you could really go shield or health here. Doesn't matter. Neither really affect her move kit. Now, if you're running her under a Kinley lead, health would be more beneficial, but really you're just kind of focused on these secondary stats. And I got one that has 2 speed, some potency, tenacity is again, but the critical chance hit twice, so almost 2% more critical chance. Then in the northwestern rune, I went with the damage primary here. Potency, speed, health, and damage. So overall, let's take a look and see what it did to her stats. So for Fao's stats here, we brought up her physical damage to 3122, getting it over 3,000, bringing it up 235. We brought up her critical chance 16.9%, bringing it to 47.74%. Would really like to get that over the 50% threshold, but I'm okay with what we did with the 1 primary stat and the set there. So we'll see how that plays out. And then health, we brought up 693, bringing it to 16,507. Physical armor and magic armor, we brought up 1% apiece. Shield, we brought up 2405, bringing it to 21,146. So we are now sitting at right around 37,000 health and shield combined, so definitely a plus. Brought it up right around 3,000 overall, so much better than where she was sitting. We brought her speed up to 185, which is really nice in this build. That's what I wanted to accomplish. I was shooting for about 180 speed, so that is really nice. With her and Patriarch Chi constantly going, that could really benefit the team. Her potency we brought up 4% to 35%, and her tenacity up 2% to 26%. So all in all, not too bad. Definitely you could get, if you went all critical chance, you could probably get that up around 65% critical chance, roughly, depending on the secondaries you get. If you went damage, obviously that's not a bad way to go either. So I wanted to go with speed because I really want her on the team I am building for the Renara event to just get that dodge increase up, increasing the survivability, get her behind Kinley as a tank, and let Ember and either Rin the Unseen or Master Duo just pump out the damage. So that's why I went that way. So all in all, pretty happy with what we did. So how are we going to scroll sync Fao? So let's take a look. Now remember, all abilities are at level 2 when we start. So Fao's Sure Shot ability, she deals 120% of physical damage to an enemy, and this ability deals damage. You gain 10% turn meter. You don't get the extra for the critical hit until level 6. Second ability, Salvo, at level 2 is 135% of physical damage to the target and 2 random enemies. At level 6 is the only time you add anything other than physical damage, which a critical hit decreases the enemy's turn meter by 20%. Grace ability at level 2 gains a dodge increase and applies it to 1 ally for 2 turns, and then we gain a dodge increase, allies as we go, and then it is all allies at level 6. Her passive ability at level 2, she just gains 10% physical damage increase, and it isn't until level 6 where we see the extra additional pandas come in. So how are we going to scroll sync her? In the build I'm running, I'm going to leave her basic right at level 2. Her Sure Shot, I'm leaving her Salvo right at level 2. I am coming right to Grace, and I'm taking that to level 6. Then I am coming right to her passive, Ranger Brotherhood, and I'm taking that to level 6. Then I am coming to her basic ability, taking that to level 6. Then I am coming to her salvo and taking that to level 6. The reason I'm doing it that way is we're getting the most out of her grace ability. She is getting it to the whole team right off the bat. Then on her passive ability, because you will be running her with pandas, most likely, 90% of the time, unless it's for like a tournament or something, we get the physical damage increase, which benefits her first 2 moves here, and then we're increasing per panda, which increases her first 2 moves here. Then she will be doing her basic more often than her salvo, so that's why I went there, where we can get the 40% turn meter gain on a critical hit. And then at salvo, we're just finishing it off and putting it there, kind of her mini AoE, where she can decrease turn meter by 20%. So that is the way I went with Fao and how I actually scrolled her on my main account. So all in all, that is why I feel you're going to get the best benefit out of Fao. So that's what I got for everybody on this Monday morning. We had Fao for noobs. She's a very basic, generic kit. There's plenty of ways to rune her. You would not be in the wrong if you ruined her for survivability. You would not be in the wrong if you ruined her for speed, if you ruined her all critical chance, if you put damage on there. So definitely many ways to ruin Fao, and there is no bad way to do it. She has a very simplistic move kit, but remember, her bread and butter is really that grace move where she does put up the dodge onto the pandas, increasing the survivability of your team. She feeds herself turn meter and can decrease turn meter at 20% a clip if we get the critical hit on it. So that's what I got it for everybody on this Monday morning. I am going to finish off the Noob series. I have Shaolin and Master Duo, if I could talk, to go, and then I will do a kind of, a lot of people have been asking for this, a Panda test underneath the lake lead with Rin the Unseen to kind of check out that penetration and see what it can really do for her damage. So that's what I got coming out for everybody. I will see y'all in the next one. Don't forget about the giveaway. Love y'all. I'm out.